Oh my God. Yo, I was in Fortnite the other day and this guy, he was like, yo, we got to go into creative mode. I want to teach you some stuff. And he like had me change all my settings and my sensitivities. And he was teaching me how to like build up your shit really fast. They taught me how to do this thing called cranking 90s, where you build a ramp and then you jump and turn and throw down a wall and a ramp on it. And so in about
cranking 90s.
Yeah, so in about 5 minutes of learning, he taught me how to like build this huge thing up. But I've been still just playing zero builds because it's just too intense, man. These kids, they just build a castle all around you, box you in, man. Pump you with the shotgun, and you feel like an idiot, you know. You're like, you got me.
Back in my day, cranking 90s meant turning on the latest Nirvana record.
It's Johnny Late Night! And now here's your host, Johnny Rogers!
Welcome everybody to episode number 40 of the Johnny Rogers Show. A little bit different of a show today. I've got some of my best friends on this podcast right now. I was thinking of like the Four Horsemen, but I'm like, it's more like the Four Northmen.
Bars. I love
it.
Let's go. I like that.
Yeah.
Yo, you should like every time we do one of these, call it the Four Northmen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We got to title it something. So let's go with that. But that's Sean Sirianni from the Creative Imbalance. Also been on the podcast a couple times. Say what's up to the fans, Sean.
Yo, what's happening, guys? Good to see everybody, or not see you guys, but thanks for fucking listening. Appreciate it.
That's Phatriik coming in. He was a cat. You saw him for a little bit as a cat, but now he's back. And man, you're just popping off with all these technological Zoom things.
That filter game is fire.
I will say I could update my Zoom, so I feel like if I do that, maybe I won't be a circle. I'm just saying. I don't know if I want to go for it. I'm just saying.
And we got Jared Bronstein. He's an acclaimed actor. He doesn't have any time to update his fucking Zoom unless he's
he's always busy. What's up?
Ooh. Let me go back to. We got a gallery here. Nice. So I want to. I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure this podcast is going to go all over the place, and I guess like the only ground rules are don't talk over each other, which might get difficult at times, but like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're all waiting for me to I'm hosting a game show and we're all about to
what was that game called? Hollywood Squares? Is that what it was? Hollywood Squares?
You ever see the Gilbert Gottfried one?
Yes.
Of Hollywood Squares?
Yeah, there's a compilation of him like it's like the best of, and he's got like the funniest replies, and there's one where he's just like heckling this one dude who's like on the game. It's something you just gotta watch. I'll send you that
recently.
Yeah,
I saw one recently. He was like, half the answers he was fucking with them, but he was like clearly obviously fucking with them. And they took him seriously, and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, why'd you think I was serious? Funniest shit in the world. And another question is, he was answering truthfully, and it was very obvious stuff, but he wasn't trying to really, I wouldn't even say fuck with them. They were just dumb. He was just making fun of them.
It's maybe they didn't think they could trust them anymore.
Yeah, it's bugging me because there was a line he kept saying over and over again as like they were wrong, and I can't think of it right now, but it was good. And he just kept repeating it like every time they fucked up.
But if we're speaking of the same clip, I remember I saw it obviously right around the time he passed. Everybody was posting stuff of him, but yeah, it was very funny.
I'm like trying to be a producer here also. Gilbert Gottfried.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, you need a Jamie. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah. Johnny, pull that
up. Yeah,
that show was wild. Like such a crazy variety of just wacky celebrity personalities just clashing. Like you'd have a comedian, and then an actor's like giving a serious answer, and the comedian just keeps riffing everything that they say.
It's a different time. TV's just not the same.
Yeah, bro. I'm even looking at this clip right now, and I'm like, I can't. Just look at this quality of television.
3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what he says. The you fool over and over again.
No, I know this one because I posed for Playker. You don't actually see anything because my thumb was in the way.
What?
Little Richard.
Man, when you look at the celebrities that they cast for this,
I'm gonna say food.
I'll disagree.
Oh yeah, we want to get him saying "you fool."
I know this. Trust me.
All I see is the parrot from the
Rowing
last.
Atlantic.
I'm agreed.
Like he keeps doing that every time they're wrong, just screams at him.
You fool! I was somebody that knew how to have fun with those television gigs, like being a comic. Sometimes
Yeah.
TV or movie gigs are either like you can either have fun with it or it's like the death of you. Like for me being on a movie for too long, I'm like, holy shit! Like it's the repetition. Like I can't stand the repetition.
Yeah, dude, yo, that was something I always loved about Norm Macdonald. There's so many clips you can find online of him, radio interviews, TV interviews, and he's just got the host that he's with backpedaling the whole time because he can't tell if they can't tell if Norm is serious or not, and he's just totally fucking with them. It's amazing.
Yeah,
You
he
got
has
to
the
check some of that
best
stuff
ones.
out.
I find the best comics are the ones that are almost like storytellers. Like you it's like you're hearing it for the first time. They're saying it for the first time. You know what I mean? It's not like a joke being set up and there's the punchline. So yeah, like I saw Ari Shaffir. He like, man, it's like I felt like I was watching a friend talk stories, and it's so entertaining.
Yeah, it's like as much as I just harped on repetition with acting, that is, I think, like what makes a comedian feel more comfortable is the repetition of it. Because like even now, but it's like it's your line, so that's why it's different, right? Like it's when you're repeating someone else's lines. For me, it just feels like I'm like I don't like this. You know, I'm just like ugh. That's why I understand why so many actors eventually go on to like try to write their own films or direct their own things, because then they do have that more creative control. But I'm finding that even now with some of my jokes, I'm like, oh, I feel like I know the words well enough that I can take risks on like how I say things, like try it a different way or like just say it with a different tone or something. But I'm like, I know if I still say the same words, it'll work.
You're definitely going to come off more natural like that too, right? When you're not just sticking to the script and you're just mixing it up.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't want to make it sound like it's a script.
Yeah, like conversational, man. I'm telling you, that's like, again, Kevin Hart's very successful, but like he's a very like, here's a joke, now you laugh. Like here's another joke and you laugh. Whereas like like
so much energy.
Bill Burr is just like,
yeah.
Was it his newest one?
No, there's
Kevin
one.
Hart?
I can't remember which one it was, but
yeah, you just had pyro though.
Yeah, pyro cannons.
Just like, I mean, hey, it works for him. He's successful, right? He's done something right. But
if you're doing comedy in a stadium, you better have pyro cannons. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that shit just standing there in the center. All right, here's my joke.
Gotta have the light show and everything, DJ everything.
Yeah, halfway through your set, there better be a chick with a bikini on just shooting t-shirts with a rocket launcher into the 300s. I'm not paying $200 to just watch you on the screen.
I find with doing my podcast and interviewing like comedians, I probably interviewed like about like 30 comedians or so, but there's been like this consistent pattern. And I think it's because I kind of like offer a space where it's like, you don't have to be on, you can just be yourself. But at the end of every time they're on, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry that I don't think that was that funny. Like we just talked about some real shit. And it's like, almost like, I'm like, it doesn't have to be fun. I didn't have you on here to like, just be a clown. Like it's more like storytelling or whatever. But like, I'm kind of like flattered where they just feel like they're on all the time, and then to offer a space where they're just like, okay, I can just chill and just like talk about the fucking craft. But it's like at the end of everyone, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, was it like, because they're so like used to like
I should have been making
pressure,
jokes.
like if I'm on or like somebody's listening, I gotta be like, oh, clown mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
I was gonna say it's radio.
yeah, that's how it feels, right? It's, you know, speaking on that subject, I just really enjoyed that in Johnny's podcast episode with Ryan Long. There's a lot of like serious like conversation about being a comedian and stuff, and all of the Ryan Long stuff I've seen online is he's just busting jokes left, right, and center. So it's kind of cool to see that other side of a comedian when you have a good interview like that. So that's pretty sick that both of you guys are doing that.
Dust this dirt off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pumping you guys up a little.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I see that with your show, Johnny, too. Like, especially being on it a couple of times, you have a space where you can just feel comfortable and just being open and real, whatever's in the moment. Like, not trying to be something, I guess you're not. Like, and some of the episodes are going to be hilarious. Some might be tear jerkers. Some might just be chill. Like, you never know. Like, it is what it is.
Dave Mahaj, for example, was like a big comedian that I adore, and he won a Juno for his comedy album. And then like partway through, we were talking about like our own mortality and fears of death. Like, I'm like, I know this probably isn't like light conversation, but people are like, man, this isn't as funny as his other stuff. Like,
it sounds like when me and Jared used to go for coffee when we worked together.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have like 2 minutes of like the deepest, like, could be like the darkest thing about mortality. I love that.
I know. It was good times for sure. Brings me back a little bit.
And then you drink the coffee and you forgot all of it even happened.
All right, back to work.
We're walking up the stairs. We're like, that was a fucking good talk, man. Like, that last 10 minutes just changed my life.
Revelations on those walks. Right down to Paris.
Have all the angry old ladies yelling to get their bread.
Yeah.
Every time.
There was the same dude there every time that he would come in, and he was always drinking like a Red Bull or something. And his mask was around his chin, and they would always have to be like, "Sir, put your mask on." And he'd roll every single time. I'm like, does he just forget? Is he just trying to get away with it? Like,
bro, you're here every day.
I think it's just like, oh fuck, I don't have to do it. Come on, you know me. Like, that doesn't do anything. What do you mean?
It's me, the guy who buys the bread.
I'm here every day.
Stop this, sir. Oh, I was gonna say, with the comedians are so used to being on when they do stuff like this because of radio. The way radio worked was like, they would even tell some comedians like, hey, do you have like a story in your act or like a bit that you can tell on the radio show? And then they would like segue them into that. So like, say if I'm doing my like acid potato chip bit, they'd be like, well, we've never done drugs before here, Johnny. How about you? Do you know anyone who's done drugs? And try to like lead you into the bit. And you'd be like, well, this one time my friend, and again, try to say it like a story, but it's like on, like you're like, okay, let's cut the commercial. Like,
you can tell late night television is very that format where it's like they just ask the most perfect thing to set you up.
Plug shit,
yeah.
That's why it's so uncomfortable when it goes all awry, right?
That's something you sometimes it's really noticeable, like on something like the Graham Norton show. You can totally tell he's like reminding the guests like to tell the story. He's like, oh, something like with a bike happened to you, didn't it? And the celebrity guest like, and he has to like walk them into the story.
And he's like winking with what we talked about like this afternoon.
Follow the
Say the bike story.
There's a lady with a sign that's like bike story.
And to go full circle with what you were talking about, Norm Macdonald too, he'd always like throw a wrench in like Conan's gears and stuff, and it would make it even better though. Like, just he just start talking about nothing, and like you could tell like Conan's like nervous but having a good time. He's like, I don't know where this is going. Yeah,
I heard the funniest fucking story of Norm. Like, I guess I don't know if you know Big J Okerson. But like
he opened for Ari when I saw him.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, that's a fire lineup.
That's a fire opener.
Yeah, it was funny, man.
Like the dude is but he, I guess, was like headlining at some club, and before he went on, they were like, "Hey, Norm Macdonald is here. Do you mind if he goes up after you and just does a bit of time?" I go, "I don't care. Like, when I'm done, I'm done. Like, let him go up, right?" And then he's like, I guess Norm just went up after him and started doing a bit about like apples. But then he just started naming all the different apples until the whole room was empty. People just started getting up and leaving. He was like, let's see, you got green apples, you got Macintosh, Royal Gala. And he just kept going through all of the apples that he could think of.
Fucking amazing.
Like, that was one of a kind, man.
The
Yeah.
best.
I would have
Yeah, so
stayed for the
pretty
whole
north.
thing.
I was gonna say, speaking of comedians, you guys want to talk about Dave Chappelle?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I only know what happened from memes.
Okay.
The guy's
Johnny can bring it
arm.
down. This is
That
Johnny's
was
That's
the-
job.
how.
He's
That's
got
it. That's
us.
how we all get our news now, bro.
So what happened was Dave Chappelle was performing at the Netflix is a Joke festival, and no phones were allowed. All right, they had the yonder bags and all that shit, but somehow a guy got in a replica weapon. He had a fake gun, and attached to that gun was a blade that, if used correctly, would fire the blade out of this replica gun. I don't know why you need to make a gun more dangerous.
What is this, like the Civil War where they got
Yeah,
the
it's like
muskets with
it's
the
like
fucking...
almost like a
Like their
crossbow.
ba-
No,
He brought a
Is that like a
bayonet to
crossbow?
a comedy show.
Yeah.
was it a bayonet? Is that what it was?
So he brings a bayonet to the comedy show, and he
Marcus
runs
Force
up on
out front or
stage,
what?
and I guess he had it out as he was running towards Dave on stage, but the thing didn't fire off, and he tackles Dave to the ground, and immediately you see like security guards like come flying in, and Dave's yelling like, "Get him, get him!" The amount of celebrities that were there is insane. Like, when the details of this come out, it's gonna blow your mind. Jon Stewart was there on side stage. Jamie Foxx was there with a sheriff's hat on, literally off to the side of the stage. Chris Rock was there. So the guy gets tackled by like 10. Like, Jon Stewart literally stomped this guy and broke his arm. Like,
Oh, so
allegedly.
that's where the arm
Allegedly.
meme comes from.
His arm is all
Jon
fucked up.
Stewart did that?
Jon Stewart
Wow.
and Jamie Foxx and some of Dave's security just kicked the living shit out of
So
this guy.
I saw a video on Twitter. Like, that's when I saw what happened. You just see Dave kind of like, he sees the guy running, he backs off, and then eventually maybe he like wraps his ankles, and then Dave falls down. And then the guy tries to run and he goes behind the stage. And then as he comes back around, you literally just see this man like running, and then a body just like grabs him right to the ground. And then you see
Slams
10
on him.
guys,
Oh my
people just kicking and punching.
Just
And then,
Insane.
yeah, no,
And
I
they announced today
yeah.
that they're not charging him.
yeah, he's not going to
Which
get charged
is-
with a felony.
Insane. What do they need to do? Kill him?
Is it not
before they
assault with a
charge
deadly
him?
weapon to have a knife like that and try to attack somebody?
It should be. That weapon is at least illegal. Like, you
Like-
can't be just carrying around a replica gun with a knife attached to it that you've then modified. I don't know what the laws are in California, but it seems like a wild, wild west hell.
Yeah, they're fucked there. You see
I
what the
think
guy's
that's
face
The
a
looked
Walking
like?
Dead there now.
Yeah,
That's-
it's basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
face.
wild.
Oh man.
Sorry, Johnny, I want to get you demonetized or
No.
get your whole channel taken.
No,
Censor
bro.
Jared's window.
Just
I'm
look at his
gonna,
face.
Damn.
Look at that.
He's
got
like,
rocked.
oh, I fucked up. Oh,
Nose is broken.
yeah. And
know,
so
I
was
think,
he mad
Look
at a
his
joke?
forehead. Looks like a Klingon,
So
man.
I don't know if anybody knows. I don't know if is this working? Can you guys
It's
see it
loading.
okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, there it is.
Damn,
You see
his
that?
arm
It's
is
like
backwards.
it's called like hematoba, I think, or something. UFC fighters get it. Like his forehead is swelling up
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because he definitely got kicked in the head while he was down for sure.
Wow.
100%.
They were probably
Oh, there's
just, like,
the
threw
gun
him
with the
down and
blade.
just started going him. They,
Oh, yeah,
he
there
still
it is.
has it.
Yo,
No,
honestly,
the
I
picture
think
beside it.
I think that the fact that he's so busted
Oh.
up right now is probably part of the reason that they didn't press charges, because they could end up in a heated
like
legal
Attempted
situation.
murder or something. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what his legal team could come with?
Right,
But,
because it
like,
wasn't self
Yeah, that's what I'm saying for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it could
it
end up being
definitely
this whole
went-
thing. These celebrities have to worry about their image and everything, right? So it
Yeah.
might not be worth the cost of the trial.
This is crazy
true.
though. This weapon here, like that.
That is pretty fucked up.
Fucking nuts. And
So
if
that's
you saw
not,
someone coming at you with that, you're not gonna like stick around to find out what the fuck it is. Right?
No.
No.
So the knife
Pure
is just
panic.
like attached to the gun.
And then it shoots
Yeah.
out like a crossbow. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I guess it just shoots the blade
That's
out. That's what I
crazy.
read. That's what I read. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that information has changed or. Please do not get your news from this comedy. slash-
Yeah, definitely from this green square,
Honest-
especially.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then-
It's so
I don't
weird.
know
Like,
how
what's
many times I
wrong
have to
with
say that.
bullets? You know, like why make it so why
Yeah,
a
why
gun?
just
Well, it was
make it so
California. They don't have
complicated
guns
for
in
themselves?
California, guys.
Yeah,
they
that's
don't charge you
true.
for anything, but they don't have guns.
It was probably like
The
a
guy-
spring-loaded
the
Nerf gun, and he
gun-shaped
just put a
knives.
knife in it. It's like, yeah, this shoots. Like,
That's probably it. But how?
Man.
Okay, this feels like what this feels like is like a last-minute school project. Like, Mom, I need him. I need. Like, he met with the LGBTQ community, and he was like, "We need to kill Dave Chappelle tomorrow." All right, what are we gonna use? I don't know.
It's like
use my son's little
brainstorm
toy
some
gun.
ideas. What do you guys got?
it's like when you walk into the kitchen 10 p.m. Mom, I need to do a project. I need a Bristol board for tomorrow.
And she gives you a knife attached to a gun.
yeah.
Take this to school instead.
Yeah. All the
Oh,
kids will get
man.
A's.
Oh my god, yeah, no, that was
It's
crazy.
beautiful.
And then Chris Rock, but the best part is Chris Rock came out
Put it on
after,
the
and he said, "Was that Will Smith?"
Yeah. That's the
Yeah, I
best
heard
part.
that.
Holy
The-
shit!
For that to be the first time that he like speaks up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since
Like he says anything
what
on it.
happened, since he
What a-
really
what a-
said
what a
anything on
moment.
it, that's the moment to do it. He picked his timing, man. My God. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up was speaking of memes, was all of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard memes that were.
A fucking nightmare, eh?
Yeah,
Bro, there's
you could
so
do a whole
many.
episode on these. Like, there's so much to
Yeah.
work with.
So
It's
many.
endless. It's an endless feed.
The one on the left.
yeah.
Like
I saw
my
a South Park
God.
one where it's like Mr. Hanky is the last one to take the stand.
Oh man, Mr.
I feel like my
Hanky.
brain's kind of like overboard with the memes too. Like it's almost like what happened with the Will Smith stuff, where like
haven't
it
been
was
keeping
funny
up with
for a
these
day
ones,
and,
man.
like, yeah.
I can't believe
Oh,
how many
wow.
there is.
There's just so many. It just goes on and on and on. Somebody made this chart like, oh, that's terrible. Like somebody sat down and made, like I've made things before in Photoshop, and so when I look at this, I'm like, somebody sat down and made this.
Weird.
Okay, am I gonna get canceled for saying I disagree? She is sexy. I understand we don't like her, but you can't tell me she's not attractive. Look at her.
No, what did
That's too much truth, bro. It's too much truth.
Is that such a
Cancellation is coming in high.
She's a celebrity for God's sakes. Of course she's attractive.
You gotta
Isn't sexy,
separate the
come on.
artist from the abuse.
It's the only way.
I mean, come on. Yeah, that whole thing is absolutely insane. And now that she's like testifying, I at first I was like, Johnny Depp is gonna win this for sure, this defamation suit, like for sure. And then she started testifying, and I was like, this is gonna be really hard for Johnny Depp to win this defamation suit, because I was like, the only way that he'll win is if the jury says like there's no way that he would have hit her, because like it's all going off of there's no evidence, there's no photos, there's no proof, there's no whatever, and she's named like it feels like 50 stories of like just the most insane shit of him just like she yells at him, and then he just like kicks her in the back so she falls on the floor. You're like, holy, I can't imagine doing these things, you know?
Kicking
So
somebody in the
when
back is just But
It
didn't
just
he like
kicks
cut
him
off
in
his
the
finger
back.
or something, and then like write in blood on the wall?
Oh my
my
god,
God, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Did he do that?
What's-
I heard he like cut off his finger, or I don't know if he fully severed his finger, but he like cut his finger and then he wrote.
on a lamp.
The beauty
man.
about this trial too is they're both actors, so they could just keep like taking
They're-
the stands and
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
like coming up with
Dude.
stories and
This
just
is my best
fucking
performance.
selling it like immaculately.
That's the
So it just turns
scariest
into a
thing.
war. Who's the better actor? That's what's this trial is going to come down to.
He wrote
Who's
on
the
a
better actor?
lampshade, "Good luck and be careful at the top." In
See,
blood.
it's almost like too much where you're just like,
Yo.
what do I believe? I
Look
don't
at
know.
the-
I wasn't there. Like, fuck.
Look at the left side there where it's all smeared.
Yeah.
It's like he started writing and then he made a mistake, so he just
Like,
scribbled
shit, I
it
gotta
all
start
out.
over.
No, dude, I looked at that as like, you know, when you start painting and you like start mixing colors on the side and then you go over to it. That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
that's the
You know,
palette.
He
honestly,
just drained out all the
oh
blood
my
on one
God.
side and dabbed
with
that
the luck,
over it.
It looks like he was trying to cover something up. Like maybe he wrote like "go fuck" and he's like, oh, no, and then he like changed it. And he like went over it a bunch of times.
He's like, oh, I don't want to go overboard with
I
this
don't wanna
message
be
I'm writing in
mean.
Yeah,
blood.
I don't want to tell her to go fuck herself. You know what? Good luck at the top. She'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's fucking brutal, dude. Oh shit. It's funny that like all it takes for this to become a comedy podcast is just two other people. That's the equation, I think.
It's true.
If it's
They'll just make
one-on-one, you
jokes.
get too serious, right? You're like, hey man, can I tell you my problems?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
no,
therapy.
it's the comedic relief. Someone's always just like, okay, we're getting too serious. Someone's gonna make a joke that's probably inappropriate right now.
Mhm.
It's like Conan has got the co-host always jumping in when things are
yeah,
not funny,
always.
right?
Yeah, Andy.
I want to see
Legend.
Andy jump in though in like a serious moment with like, come on guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's make light of this
Johnny
very
Depp
serious
and Amber
situation.
Heard. Yeah. But imagine Conan's got Johnny Depp and Amber Heard on the couch. And he's like, so you guys got into the craziest thing? And Andy's like, huh, how about we ask them about that boat ride? Just like some random fucking prompt for a story. Everybody just got tired there for a second.
No, I just like I keep like hanging back too because I'm like trying not to consciously talk over people, but then there's like a
Yep.
bit of a delay too. So,
That's the thing. I'm like trying to I like watch
Yeah.
you guys. I'm like, we got to talk. Okay,
Yeah,
now I'll jump
yeah.
in.
we're being too Canadian. We're just
Yeah, but
like,
I think it's one of those things that it's like we're gonna talk over each other, and the more we do this, the better we'll get it at just, you know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Yeah, we'll get a little rhythm going after a while.
I was
Yeah.
mostly saying that for me because I do that way too often.
Yeah, I
Like,
find
I
I
have a
talk a
problem.
lot too.
yeah, it's hard on
That's-
Zoom too because there's like a little like couple
Slight
second
delay.
delay with everything.
So fuck, let's all get together and just do it in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, fuck this
Facts.
podcast.
There you
Let's
go.
just end it right
COVID's
here.
over. Let's go.
Let's just meet halfway for everybody. So I don't know what that puts
I don't
us,
know what
but
halfway is. We gotta just pick a city.
I love how Johnny mentions the whole oh, I only mentioned that at the beginning because I do that a lot. It reminds me of in my relationship, there's something my girlfriend doesn't do that I don't like. I'll be like, we need to stop doing this particular thing.
It's so much easier
No, I
to
and
put the
team.
blame on both.
It's like it's a reminder for all of us who live here, you know.
That's dope. She's just giving her with a game in the background. Is that like
Yeah,
Yeah,
GTA
she's just
or
going
something?
hard back there.
Yeah,
What's she
that's
playing?
dope. Respect.
It's Cyberpunk.
Oh, cool.
Didn't
Yeah,
live up to the
Steph's
hype.
Keanu
I
Reeves.
really haven't, I never got a new console. I played WoW for a bit over the winter months on my 13-inch MacBook Pro. Ran very well,
Nice.
as you guys can imagine.
Mhm.
And I haven't played a console in a long time. Is Cyberpunk worth the hype? I remember everyone was like freaking out, and then it was like not exciting, and then
Yeah, a long story short, Steph picked it up when it came out on the PS4 and it was almost unplayable, like so many bad glitches and stuff. But she's playing right now on a PC, a pretty fancy gaming rig, and it's pretty sick. Like it's got some issues. It's got some glitches, but it's really cool. And she spends a lot of time in the photo mode, taking a lot of pics and stuff. She's got like an Instagram page where she's doing like gaming photography and stuff she's been into for a while, and it's pretty cool.
Right
For
on.
that,
Kinda
it's
see a
definitely
chick's
one of
ass.
those games.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, a lot of booty shots.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's where you get the likes, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but dude,
I'm gonna
that'd be
follow that
so
page.
funny. Just, yeah. Just
Yeah,
started
so I'll have to
OnlyFans
send you guys
for
a
video
link.
games.
Yeah.
You should
I'm
do a
the
video game
opposite of you,
OnlyFans.
Jared. I got a gaming rig like couple months ago, and the last month I lived in Elden Ring. So this is probably the first time I'm like interacting with people. Well, that's an exaggeration, but
yeah, Elden Ring 2. I see everybody posting
was-
about it, man.
just in the zone. It was fucking crazy. It just took my soul.
Yeah.
Dude, go off on that. I want to hear
Oh,
more about
dude.
this. This is like
So it's basically heroin. Basically, lots of people are saying it's like it's been rated like 10 out of 10 on like everything.
Wow.
And it's interesting because the the developer used to make these games called Dark Souls. I don't know if you heard about them, but a lot of people wouldn't get into them because they hear it's like too hard. The game's like actually like purposely mean to you and shit. But that's like kind of the appeal. And I just started loving those games. But what's interesting about Elden Ring, it's basically just one of those games, but with an open world. And because it got such good ratings, people who were scared to play those older games ended up buying this one and then finally seeing the appeal. So now it's like one of like the biggest games like ever sold, but they haven't changed like their old style that was scaring people away, which I think is really cool, which is like people are finally giving this a chance and really realizing the reason why it is so fun and rewarding is because of how hard it is, where people used to be scared of how hard it was, and then finally getting your hands on it and like doing the littlest thing, like beating like the first enemy, like feels like an accomplishment. You can be there for like 2 hours, but when you're done, you're just like, oh man, that's crazy. I can't believe I did that. And then it gradually gets harder and harder, and it's like 200 hours long, and people just keep getting sucked into it. And it's cool. It's like a game too where you can really express your creativity, and like everybody who plays it a different way. You do different routes. Like there's not like one path and levels. It's just open world. It's like good luck, figure it out. You gotta achieve a bunch of shit to like get to the final boss, but everybody's like going in their own path and having like different stories of how they play it and shit. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds like WoW, dude. WoW is like a game that it's like heroin, dude. I don't play for like 6 months, and I'm like, you know what? I'll play a little bit, and then the next thing I know, I'm pulling all-nighters. It's fucked up.
Yeah. I never got into WoW because of that reason, but then I found my thing that was doing it to me, I guess. So.
But honestly, it sounds interesting. So I literally got the new MacBook, but apparently with the M1 Pro chip, like it apparently could run games and shit fine. Like it's very, very powerful.
But it can't make you not a circle.
Yeah. he hasn't set it up yet.
I'm using the 13-inch. If I had the extra inch, then that's all that matters, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
It's a penis joke for those of you guys that didn't get
it. we need sound effects like drum rolls.
I've been thinking about that. I'm like, God damn, I need a soundboard, and just go back to from podcast episodes and clip sounds and then play it whenever I want.
But yeah, maybe I'll actually play. I mean, again, I don't know how it would run on a MacBook. I know Macs aren't known for like gaming, but with the M1 chip, apparently it's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Is it similar to like Skyrim? Would you say in like
it
the
is.
Length of it?
Somebody, like I've been like Twitch streaming it, and somebody like just wrote in the chat. I don't know how true this is. It just was like a quote I laughed at, but they were like, "Yo, this is like Skyrim, but not for pussies." it's like super dark and like kind of like manly. Yeah. And
that's totally
accurate. I've never played Skyrim, but I don't know why. I just found that funny, and it's stuck with me.
That is very funny.
Yeah, but yeah.
Have you played Elden yet?
Yeah, I've not got that many hours into it, but man, Sean hit the nail on the head with that game. Like it's they modernized it, but they didn't lose what was good about the old games. And you can like summon other players to join your game if you're on like a really tough boss and stuff. So it is single player, but you can still like have your buddy who was really good at the old Dark Souls games jump in and give you a hand. They did a lot to make it more appealing to a wider audience, but still kept it that same really tough game. And comparing it to like WoW or to Skyrim, the big difference is in Elden Ring you can't pause the game, and there's such a huge difficulty curve. Like you'll struggle on one boss, not even a boss, just some random guy, and it's like the fight for your life, and then you beat him and you get to the next room and you get instantly killed, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so not ready for this. And this is like the first 10% of the game. Like it's crazy, dude. But it's so satisfying.
I don't know if I could do it, man. I'm the kind of gamer where it's like when shit like that happens, I just get really mad and it's like hit shit.
Yeah,
it's made to suck you in too. Yeah.
It's like punch my wall or something.
I think another like
Jared's like, I used to have a dog.
See how it's like a little round right there?
Yeah.
That was Call of Duty.
That was Call of Duty, I swear to God. I used to have it set up this way, and I remember I was like on a kill streak, and then some guy just killed me. No, I just hit a straight fist to the wall, man.
Bam.
Thought I like broke my hand, but everything was fine. It really hurt after though.
Has
It
that-
wasn't like
incredible.
I did it and I felt good. It's like I did it and I was like, ow, fuck, like the adrenaline instantly went away. It just hurt for like hours after. It sucked. But yeah, I rage a lot. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's why cheat codes go in handy. I heard this game is equal.
Yeah.
torture.
So get this, Johnny. That's the same makers as Elden Ring. This is their
No
previous
way.
game.
Oh,
So
shit.
that's
Yeah.
one of the hardest
Yeah.
games I've ever completed. Sekiro. It was fucking wild.
How long did it take you?
So that game isn't as long as like Elden Ring because it's like not open world, it's more linear. And I don't even remember how long it took me. I think the final boss I was probably on for an entire day because
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
it like took me like the whole afternoon to just finish it. And it's addicting, Sekiro, especially because it's like a samurai type game, and Elden Ring and the Dark Souls games are more about like more defensively, where Sekiro makes you have to stay in the fight. And there's all these tools, like, so you almost got to learn your opponent like a dance, and it turns into this crazy samurai fight. So, but there's so many mechanics. It's like, okay, like when he does this, I learned I got to jump here, and then I got to parry here, and I got to like dive in here, and then it just turns into a wild, like fucking sword clashing thing. And like sometimes it takes like a good 20 minutes once you have it down to finally beat the boss. But it's so intense and satisfying and like crazy.
I'm like, that's giving me throwbacks of like Mario 64 when you had to like when you face Bowser for the first time. You remember doing that as a kid, and you're like, how
Grab
do
the
I
tail.
figure this out? Yeah, and then you realize it's the tail, and you're like, oh shit. It's like starts you at those basic levels.
You kind of get that same like epiphanies, but like way more like where Bowser, it's like just one thing. It's like, okay, you get to a boss and then maybe you got to figure out like 5 or 6 things.
yeah.
These games, the Sekiro, Elden Ring, the thing that's crazy is they're just designed to punish, right? Like you'll finally have the boss's whole move set figured out, and you're adjusting, you're improving, you're learning the dance like Sean was saying, and you're starting to really kill, and then the boss will get to like 25% health and all of a sudden bust out some new move and just wipe you. Like you got like so much extra health and everything, you're like, I'm ready this time, and he just kills you one hit.
Yeah, I'd fucking lose it.
You have a few new lights. Man. It's
I don't know.
I'm ready.
He pulls out a bucket of blue paint, just starts going over the spine.
Pat, I don't know if you got to Godric. He's like one of the second mainline bosses or whatever, but exactly what you said. You get him down to 25%. I've been fighting this guy for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, I finally got the dance down. And then I'm like hitting him. I'm like, okay, it's almost at the end. It goes boom, cutscene. He swings his sword and it chops off his arm, and it's a crazy cutscene, like blood. He's screaming like, ah! Then all of a sudden there's a dead dragon just hanging out. He takes his arm, sticks it in the dragon head, and then all of a sudden he's just got this dragon arm, and he's like fucking blasting like meteors at you. And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I just figured out this fucking game. And then you like get killed in like 2 hits, and then it's like, okay, I gotta like do the beginning dance, get to that part, and then learn the new dance here. It's like, it's fucked.
Was that the divine dragon?
No, this guy's called Godric the Grafter.
And this is Elden Ring we're talking about, or this is the
this
other
is
one?
Elden Ring.
Oh,
There's
Also,
so many crazy bosses.
Yeah. Also, George R.R. Martin helped write like some characters. And what's interesting about the guy who actually directs the game, like George wrote like all these human characters, not knowing the guy's style, which is like very like cosmic horror and stuff. So he just basically took all of George's ideas and made them like way more fucked up. Like as you see right there, this guy, he chops off limbs and like kind of adds them to himself.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
Even all his like little minions, they're so creepy. He makes like spider people out of like just human remains and stuff. Like it's really fucked.
So much acid to think of this.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
I wonder like how like this is another human's brain that conceptualized
Literally.
and then made it.
Yeah. And like, not even exaggerating, the world that the guy kind of builds, his last name's Miyazaki, this Japanese guy, and I put it on the same level as like a Tolkien making Lord of the Rings or a George Lucas making Star Wars, because there's so much like depth. Like you can look at like a piece of a castle like in the game that you can walk by, or you can pick up an item and read like a whole story. And like, you know how like Star Wars has like all those background characters, and then
Yeah.
they get spin-offs and action figures
Yeah.
of like a bounty hunter who's been in it for like 5 minutes of the movie, but they got their whole story. That's what these games are as well too. As you like meeting people, like everybody's got their fucking like the lore is like so fucking deep, but some people don't even like look into it because it doesn't actually tell you the whole story. You kind of got to like dig around and look at the environment. But it's just like, it's one of the most like, beyond it being a video game, I think just on a creative level, it's just art to me, which kind of pushes it to an extra level beyond me loving how the game feels and the challenge. Just the world is
I love
crazy.
that
Like,
part, man.
yeah.
The it's so cool to see like virtual worlds like grow like that too. And if you want to project ahead to the future, you're like, it's going to be even crazier when VR is like perfected and it's in every home, like it's that affordable. But like even now, like you look at like Pat was showing me Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, that's a beautiful like skyline. You know, like somebody fucking made that. Like
The
every
attention
blade
to
of
detail,
grass.
right? It really
Nuts.
does make
It's
all the
incredible.
difference for sure.
Yeah, I got a friend who plays that game over and over again too. It's just like, he's not even really a gamer. Like he just has like a PlayStation and he just
He
plays
likes
Red
to
Dead.
trot around on a horse.
Yeah, he just loves fucking westerns, and I guess this is the pinnacle of being in a western. You know,
It's the only game in that genre really, and it does it so well.
And it's such a big genre. Like you think there would be more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you look at like Western films were like an entire decade. That's like all they did was Westerns in Hollywood. And there's still people that love Westerns. For fuck's sakes, if you go to Texas, I'm sure it's just like, it's cowboy hats everywhere. You know what I mean? Like they still live in that. There's still the Texas Rangers and like, so they still live in that cowboy phase. So you'd think there'd be more games of that. But hey, Rockstar, do your thing.
Yeah, they got
Honestly,
the market right now.
Yeah.
Are they coming out with GTA 6? Is that coming out soon?
They're working.
Probably not anytime soon.
They've been milking GTA 5 for 10 years, and they're not moving on because people keep buying the shit, you know? Like, even I heard about this community where they have like GTA Online, and everybody like role plays like a World of Warcraft type thing, but they don't leave their character. Like they stay, like they'll use a different voice, and they have jobs. Like there's people who are police officers, and there's people who like, you can work at a bakery and just like, and people are going on every day. Like this is like the new World of Warcraft level of obsession.
Is that just a result of them like wanting more out of the game, but it's not, the developers are refusing, you know what I mean? They're not gonna give you.
They're making their own.
So you just kind of like make up your own, like Recess. Like we do Recess for so long that at a certain point you just start making up your own games because you're like, it's the same playground.
Yeah, bro.
It's the same playground over and over again. I'll be a cop and you be a robber. Like the same thing's happening in GTA right now.
Yeah.
Yo, I used to play Red Dead Online like crazy. I couldn't get into GTA Online, but I played Red Dead Online like probably over 1,000 hours, dude. And yeah, it's exactly what you're saying, Johnny. People get to this point where there's not enough content in the game to keep you entertained, but you love being in that environment so much that you just start making up your own stuff. And me and the gang of the online players I'm with, we would go around and just like, you know, pose for photos, have like a fishing competition, do like a little fight club, and we get outfits going and beat each other up. Like
craziest.
That was so fun, dude. And there's tons of people doing shit like that. And the role playing on GTA, like it's exactly what you said. People are creating their own content because there's just not enough there to fulfill that thirst, you know.
But there's something like really beautiful in that like a community could come together and just be like, we're not gonna let you tell us that this is it. You know what I mean? We'll make our own fun out of what we have. Like, I don't know, man. That's great.
It's awesome.
I think the GTA Online community even popped off because of COVID, and people are just locked down, and like this is
True.
what people were fucking doing, you know, like
This
just
is hilarious.
hanging with their boys. Yeah, it's like a fight night on Red Dead. Oh, this is Phatriik video
Holy
too.
shit.
That's-
Yeah, I put that whole thing on YouTube. I just like edited all the fights because there was like I had like 12 of my friends showed up when we did this. It was crazy.
That's
That is
hilarious.
so funny.
Especially, I think COVID made all of this stuff, like gaming was already becoming more legit when people started winning like ridiculous cash prizes and being part of like pro gaming teams and stuff.
For
But
sure.
the pandemic really made it like normalized
100%.
because people just needed to meet in these spaces just to have human contact. But for years, gamers have been saying like, I've made some really great friends who I've never even met. But I have in-game memories with those people. Like
I got a buddy I've been playing. I might get some hate from the gaming community, but I've been playing like NHL and Call of Duty with since like I want to say 2010 maybe.
insane.
And I've never met him, but I've known him for like 12 years. And one of my other best friends
crazy.
went to Texas to meet him, and they met him for the first time like literally last year.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And we've been playing like for 12 years, and I want to meet him someday. But yeah, so I have a real life experience with that.
Oh, that's amazing. Actually, I got something relating to meeting somebody online who you know for 12 years. And this is actually about to happen to me this weekend. There's just, again, 12 years ago, I was on this heavy metal forum from like New York, and they used to have a radio show. And I would call in and we do like funny skits. And there was this girl, Nina from Arizona. She'd call in and like tell all these funny stories. And ever since then, we've like stayed in touch on every form of social media imaginable. And this weekend, she's a big fan of the singer Lights, to the point where she wants to go to her last show, which is in Toronto. So she hit me up. She's like, hey, do you want to like, I'm sorry to bug you, but do you got time to like meet and like hang? I'm like, of course. Like just, she's this like same vibe as me, everything. Like, I'm so excited to meet her. Like, and it's just like an online best friend. But this is the spookiest shit ever. So get this. So she's like booking her Airbnb or whatever, and like does not know what street I'm on or whatever. And she hits me up. She's like, okay, I'm staying at this place. I tried to get closer to the venue, but I couldn't. It had a fallout. But now I'm a half hour away from the venue. And she's like, this is the street address. And it is, or I shouldn't even say this.
Yeah,
Maybe you shouldn't say where you're living. I was like, is he gonna say it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting
yourself,
comfy. I
bro.
forgot we're like recording. I like feel like I'm just, but get this. So
We'll cut to commercial right here now. Hey everybody, Johnny here. Just want to take a quick second to thank our newest Patreon subscriber, CLB. I appreciate your support, and because you are subscribed to the show for just $1 a month, you're getting this episode before anyone else. If you want to be cool like CLB, head to patreon.com/TheJohnnyRogers and join in on the fun. All right, now back to the episode.
this is like this is the spookiest universe shit. Like I'm like getting goosebumps right now. She is literally a 30-second walk away from me on the same street. And I'm like, what the I'm like, Nina, there's like 3,000 streets in Toronto, and you are my next door neighbor. And she was
That's
like,
so
what?
fucking weird,
And
man.
I went on Google Maps like with a video. I'm like, did the street view. I'm like, this is my apartment. I do 2 clicks where it went up the road. I'm like, this is where you're staying.
Wow.
And we're like, oh my, like I'm getting goosebumps again. Like just
That is
like,
insane.
it's almost like a
dude.
meant to be thing. Like she's coming from like Phoenix, Arizona, doesn't know the city at all, doesn't know where I live. And I'm like, you're my neighbor. Like, I'm gonna take you around and we're gonna have a good weekend. But I'm so excited too. It's just like one of those moments.
That's crazy though. What are the odds?
Yeah,
eh?
but like imagine like meeting like somebody you like the person you
man.
gamed
I
with in
wanna
that long,
wonder.
and finally having that moment. Like it's like,
Dude,
I'm so
I
excited
did this
about
too.
it. Yeah.
I did this like when I was, I think when Xbox 360 like first came out. My next door neighbor, Styles, who's been on the podcast, got an Xbox, and he made like 3 or 4 friends, these 4 guys that he would always play Halo with. And then eventually and they were from like Cornwall or something. So it was like very, very close to Brockville. And then when I got an Xbox, I added them on there too. And then we always just played Halo and Call of Duty or whatever else, whatever was playing at the time. Mostly Halo, I think, was at the time. we end up wanting to go to like a WWE like live show, not like a televised one that they had there. And they literally met us there, and we watched
cool.
like a wrestling show together. It was like the craziest thing because we were like 16, 17 years old, and we had already known each other for like 4 years and like barely like never met each other. So it was just such a surreal experience. But then years later, when I started like getting into acting, one of the guys, Mackenzie, who I should have on the podcast, he like went to film school at like the Ottawa College Algonquin. He was like, "Hey, I have to make a short film. Do you want to be in my short film?" And I was like, "Sure." So then worked together again with this guy who was literally like someone I used to play Halo with when I was 14 or 15.
That's so cool. And
That's wild,
and you
man.
met in Halo too, right?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's like, what?
Yeah.
So I think it is important for us to note, for some of the younger listeners, this was like before the time of social media where you could just add people and see their picture and video chat like this. It wasn't, you couldn't do this. None of this existed. We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah, like these gaming friends, you only knew them from their username and whatever they did.
And
in
the sound of their
game,
voice,
right?
like
Well, you get so
It was
close
like
to them because you're
Stormtrooper
on every
44.
day and they're there, like, you know, like
every
it's
single
like,
day.
yeah, it's a beautiful like relationship, and you get like their vibe, and it becomes like they're just like turn into like second family in a way. It's like, oh, I know if I turn on my Xbox and they get the notification, they're gonna hop in too. And sometimes you're like talking to these people more than people like who are like your best friends in real life too. Depending on how deep you're into the fucking game, you know.
It's
crazy.
that camaraderie too of the game, right? Like if you're in a shootout together with this person, and like especially if it's one of those first person shooter games, like it's like akin to like, I don't want to even compare the two, but I'm more so speaking from like a psychological standpoint of just like random men going to fight for their country together. Like it's that same kind of psychology that we're like, your eyes and your brain don't know the difference, right? Like if I put on a VR headset for too long and take it off, I'm a little like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I'm transported into a different space because you start to your eyes see what are in front of you, and it sends a message to your brain, and your brain goes, okay, this is where we are. Part of you knows it's not real, but part of you is like, but is it? You know what I mean? So I think it's the same thing. That's why you're bonding so close.
Yeah, bro, when you're put in the same team as somebody in like PUBG, Fortnite, whatever the game is, even if you don't like the person, you're going to come through with the revive. You're going to drop that person some ammo or some health packs or whatever the hell. And those things create the relationship. You know, you remember when you play these games, your buddy who always comes in clutch and saves the match at the last second, or the guy who's always like covering you, or the guy who's always calling out the enemies. Like, and you build this respect that you maybe don't even have for the people that you work with or that you have in your family, because these experiences get so like, it's when your adrenaline is up and everything, and you're just like, oh yeah, I love this guy.
You know, sweaty, like your knees are weak.
So okay, I just got an idea.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know what game we could do, but I got an Xbox here. The four of us should do something. I don't know if it's Fortnite, Call of Duty. I don't know what you guys play, but we should definitely do something. I think it'd be very funny.
Yo, I think for sure.
I'm not a Fortnite guy. I would much prefer Call of Duty, but I'll play whatever you guys want.
Yeah, on PC, I've been playing Halo Infinite, which I know is cross-compatible with an Xbox too. So I don't know if
we should do that kind of is shit, PC, Steam, Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
That's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Never played, but sure.
And it can run on anything. So
it's think of it as just like a really simple like Call of Duty. Like it's
like first generation.
Insane, like the first generation.
Oh yeah,
like
Counter-Strike is the OG. Like you pick that up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, not even. Like there's nobody doing crazy like, twists around and kill streaks.
Jump, duck.
Yeah, you just like run at each other, and there's a maze in the middle. It's kind of like paintball. Whenever you're like in those small arenas where you're just kind of going at
go head to head. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's no strategizing, or I'm gonna build.
Just kill or be killed.
I heard Fortnite actually got rid of their forts, so now it's just night.
It's just night. Yeah, I heard about that too. You don't have to build shit.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I wasn't playing that game. I'm like, I don't want to build.
I could not stand it, bro. That's why I prefer Warzone. It's like, just give me some sick guns. Let me just fucking kill some kids right now. In the game,
man.
Of course.
I've been playing that a bit since they did that.
I realized I said that. Like,
it only is a video game.
Shit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that Fortnite mode. I've been playing that a bit. It's pretty crazy. Like you get like an extra bit of shields. So the meta of the game is totally different. It's not like you start getting shot at and you throw up a bunch of builds. You're playing completely different. You're like running people down so that they can't get into cover and heal. So it's like
Right.
it was really interesting to see over the past couple of weeks how every time Fortnite changes the game, the way that people play changes, and they always nerf the guns and they change the way that the meta is. And now with no building, like there's 2 different modes you can play, and then 0 build mode is just it's pretty intense sometimes, man, because there's no like break in the fight where everybody starts building a huge castle and then meets in the sky. When you kill 2 out of 4 on the other team, everybody's pushing so hard because you don't want to give them a chance to run away. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I saw
It's
somebody
intense,
say
man.
that they were happy that they don't have to try to kill someone who's building like the Taj Mahal in front of them.
Bro, when I did play, I would fucking hate when these kids would build. I'd be shooting them, they would
Yeah,
build like
man.
a thing, I would shoot it down, and they're like 10 feet above me, and I'm like, how the fuck did you get up there? Like, I couldn't figure out how to build and make the wall
I never
and then
felt
build.
so
Like,
old in my life. I was like,
holy
how is he
shit.
doing this?
No,
My
I
buddy was
so-
saying that like he's got kids who play Fortnite too, and he used to be like really good at shooters. He's like, oh, let me try this, and he's like, oh, I gotta build too. He's like, my brain, like,
it's just
like,
it's
am I
too much.
shooting or building? Like,
Yeah.
Right, right. Like, no,
but
man.
like the kids
Call
are
of
just
Duty.
like, yeah, no problem. Like this is what's
That's
going
why I like
on.
Warzone, man. You just fucking just go on those kill streaks. You get a UAV, good to go.
Yeah.
You'd think
Yo,
I could get to
I,
it like rapid because of GTA cheat codes. You'd always have to like throw those.
Yeah, fingers always going.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, I was in Fortnite the other day, and this guy, he was like, yo, we gotta go into creative mode. I want to teach you some stuff. And he like had me change all my settings and my sensitivities, and he was teaching me how to like build up your shit really fast. They taught me how to do this thing called cranking 90s, where you build a ramp and then you jump and turn and throw down a wall and a ramp on it. And so in about
Cranking 90s.
Yeah. So in about 5 minutes of learning, he taught me how to like build this huge thing up. But I've been still just playing 0 builds because it's just too intense, man. These kids, they just build a castle all around you, box
Can't do
you
it,
in,
man.
pump you with the shotgun, and you feel like an idiot. You know, you're like, ah, you got me.
Back in my day, cranking 90s meant turning on the latest Nirvana record.
Wow.
Oh my god, I had to look up cranking 90s.
Cranking 90s.
That should honestly be the episode.
Yeah, you just
For
cranking 90s.
Fortnite meaning.
Oh my god, it's
Oh,
on
wow.
Urban Dictionary.
There you go. Yeah, from 2019. I'm just
Wow,
catching
so
up.
Shit,
We're
man.
so
Yo,
behind. That's
I'm
like-
old.
Honestly, eh? Kids are 10 steps ahead here.
God damn, they've already got it on Urban Dictionary before we found out about it. Hey, at least we're not like, what's Urban Dictionary? You know,
That's true.
Yeah.
we can always be older.
But I feel like Urban Dictionary always used to just be like dirty words, and then it became like more slang. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, well, they
Maybe
all
like
have
dirty
their-
and like racist and that kind of
Mm.
stuff. Like there was
Yeah,
words that I
yeah.
would hear. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And I'm
Same
looking up. They're
thing.
like, what the fuck? Like,
Anytime
You-
somebody
it's weird.
says something racist, I go, that's a dirty word.
I feel like for a while, Urban Dictionary was a place that you would go to find the real meanings. Like when some guy tells you, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yo, I hooked up with this chick last night and I did a Darth Vader tour." You're like, "What? What the hell?" Urban
yeah, what is that?
Dictionary.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it had
Yeah,
all
you
the
can-
donkey
You
punch
can look it
moves
up
and
on
stuff.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
But
Or like a
Urban
bump.
Dictionary got to a point where everybody was like competing to write the funniest
That's, like,
descriptions.
Right.
So now you look stuff up on there and there's like 10 different explanations.
That's
for
almost
the
like
crazy
Wikipedia
thing.
now. There's some people's Wikipedia pages that are fucked because people just go in there and edit it. And
Add
change
random
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never seen Urban Dictionary say if you could just donate $2, you'd really help us out. So donate now.
That's why I always use.
It's like,
Urban
what do you
Dictionary
like?
for my
Oh, man.
research.
What do you think? I'm not coming here to give you my money. Just tell me what I need to know.
Boys,
That's amazing.
I'm gonna wrap it up here while we're on a high note. Do you guys have anything to promote? Sean, I don't know. We can promote.
Creative and Balanced podcast. If you are in the Toronto area and you want to check out some fucking sick battle rap, the venues are open now, and I've been filming with a group called Beast Mode Battles. And in June, we're having a mega event on the 25th and 26th, and it's going to be crazy. We're flying people from like fucking like all over the states coming in, and it's just going to be an epic night of some of the best people locally, challenging some people across North America in some word fights and insult battles, and trigger warning if you're offended, but if not, come and have a good time. That's what I gotta say. And check out the Creative Imbalance podcast.
Yeah, Pat, you're up. What do you want to promote?
You know, you're digging me, check me out on Twitch. I don't have a lot going on lately, honestly, because I'm going to be moving soon, get a new apartment going, get a better setup. But yeah, check me out on Twitch for sure. I got a lot of fun
I'm
stuff
adding
coming.
your Twitch right now. This is awesome.
Twitch.tv /
I'm planning on streaming Death Stranding sometime in the future, because I beat that game and I really enjoyed it. So I want to play it on like the hardest difficulty and run through it again.
Right.
That was pretty fun.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Nice. Sick, Jared.
That game was weird.
Not really. Just appreciate you guys listening. Support the boys.
Mr. Spicy.
Yeah, I'm hopefully firing up YouTube again soon. So I got some shit coming. So subscribe. I haven't posted for like a month and a bit. Done with the reaction bullshit. It's not my thing. So we're doing some other stuff.
Bro, there's so many. Okay, the reaction videos are like the male version of OnlyFans. Like, I'm like, do I do?
I just can't. I couldn't do it, bro. I tried, and I just like it. Literally, people said to me, they're like, "We could tell like you're not enjoying it." And I was like, "I'm not. I don't know why I'm still fucking doing this."
I find like it's so oversaturated too. Like, just everybody's kind of got a reaction channel now.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Again, people are very successful with it, so I'm not knocking it. It's just not my, it's not for me. I can't do it.
Yeah. One thing I don't know if you're
like whatever works for you, right?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you're like still passionate about stuff like this, but you were always amazing and so witty with like just writing a script and then bringing it to life, and also conveying information in such a lovable way. And I don't know if you're just over that shit too, but that's something you're good at. So if you're ever inspired,
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm figuring out day by day. But
you always dive into topics that you actually enjoy, though.
Yeah, fair. It's a good point.
And even like take your time with like there's one channel somebody showed me. It's a guy named Noodle, and he kind of does like commentary on like video games, but he also does like these little animations. But sometimes it takes him like 8 months, like in between videos. And he's popping, like, because it's just like level of quality.
Waits for that 1 month.
Like, and he almost has 1 million subscribers, and he's not like doing the formula that we're told, where you got to put out a video every day. It's like, it's like quality over quantity, and people are just waiting for it. And it's like when you
like that, he releases one video a year, and that's it.
Yeah, that's fire.
I bet it's sick, dude. I thought you were gonna say Mr. Beast,
but
he does like one a month, right? Mr. Beast, one every 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, because his are so like the fucking.
Bro, his videos cost him like $50 million. It's fucking.
He goes in debt for sure for those.
It's weird because YouTube is kind of a long game, right? Like when you follow a creator on YouTube that's making really cool stuff, after a couple of weeks of watching their videos all the time, you find yourself watching videos that are like 6 years old, 5 years old. So, find something you love and start pounding out videos, and that'll be you 10 years from now, right? Like, it's crazy. It's that consistency.
Definitely too, if it's something you have natural passion about, where it turns the job, like you're doing work, but it doesn't feel like work because you're enjoying it, and just, again, the word passion, just fueling it and everything.
That's a good spot to end it there. I'm sure we can keep talking all night, guys. But thank you so much for listening to the podcast, everybody. I've been your host, Johnny Rogers. This is the first episode of the 4 Northmen. I think we're sticking with that. Here, let me go back up to we'll go to the gallery.
4.
Mr. Sean Sirianni, go follow him, Creative Imbalance. Phatriik, go follow him at Phatriik on Twitch. Jared Bronstein, stay tuned with YouTube, because you're going to be seeing some passion projects, or you might catch him in the next upcoming movie. Who knows? But till next time, everybody, keep it classy. You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.